Hi, welcome to Barb's Kitchen Center. My name's Celeste and this is my test kitchen. Today we are going to make Rise and Shine muffins with freshly milled barley. So we are going to use our shiny Nutrimill. Actually, this one is less than shiny. It's about, probably 15 years old, and we use it quite often, so it's one we highly recommend. So it has various settings on here. I don't need a super fine grind, so I'm going to set it to somewhere between the finer and medium. So you can actually make a pastry flour with this mill if you want to, if you set it to super fine and super slow. All right, so I'm going to put in my barley. And the recipe we're doing today calls for 2.5 cups. I have just put in 2 cups of barley because you get about 1.5 times-ish when you mill your own flour. All right, so I've added my barley to the top of my mill. I've made sure that my sponge is inside the catcher. This is the receptacle, and we clean it out periodically, but we don't keep it super clean. I'm going to make sure that it's shut, and I will push the bin in. You see a yes and a no on the bottom of the mill. On the newer mills, it's a little more brightly colored, so it's easier to see. So if you cannot see the yes and you can only see the no, you know something's wrong. And if you don't want flour all over your kitchen, you will make sure you can see the yes. So now we will turn on our mill. All right, the 2 cups of barley should have given us about 2.5 or a little better cups of barley flour. You'll notice with the fresh flour, it is going to be warm, and it'll have an aroma you won't smell in flour that you get from a grocery store. So I will find my measuring cup. And I do believe this is my 2-cupper, but just to make sure, I will. So when you're measuring flour, you're best to fill up the cup, because if you do this, you will find that you get way more flour than you actually want because you're compressing it. So that can change the hydration of whatever you're doing. I'm just looking for there we go, my bench scraper. So in order to get a nice even cup, 1 cup. So I will put it in here for now, and we'll do it all over again. Two cups, and this is my 1/2 cup. Yep. I will two and 1/2 cups of flour. All right, I will break out the wash and we will start mixing our muffins. All right, now we're ready to put our muffins together. The first thing we're going to do is mix together our dry ingredients. So our flour, that's still nice and warm. And then add our sugar in here. So that's a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 2.5 cups of barley flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, and I will just get a whisk hands. And we will just whip this together a little bit. I'm also going to put my walnuts in, because if I don't coat my walnuts, or if I were to be adding fruit, if I wanted to add some dried fruit to this, I could. You want to coat the walnuts a little bit. It's kind of, a little bit of flour is kind of like a life jacket for your walnuts. It helps them stop sinking right to the bottom of your muffin, which is okay, but you'd prefer to have your walnuts evenly distributed through your entire muffin. So this will help keep them afloat. All right, now we're going to put our wet ingredients into our bosh and mix them up a little bit. So 1/3 of a cup of oil, a cup of orange juice. So you get your breakfast, your fiber, and your orange juice all in one felt swoop. We also have 1/3 of a cup of marmalade. So, and then 2 eggs. I'm going to break the eggs into a bowl just to make sure they're okay. They should be. I just picked them up from the store. However, every once in a while, you get a dodgy egg, and you'd rather not break that into your bowl full of ingredients. Especially if you're like me and you just at the last minute decide to do something and you don't have backup ingredients in the cupboard. So I'll just give them a quick whip together. Put on my splash ring so I don't wear it all. There we go. All right, I will add my dry ingredients, and I am going to scoop them in a little bit at a time. So just turn this on to low. You don't want to overmix it, you just want it to be mixed. You don't have to beat it forever. We'll take out my whips. I will grab my pan. I put muffin tins in, which generally, or muffin papers in, or cupcake papers, just simply because it makes it easier to clean out the pan later. Generally with muffins, you just grease the pan and put them straight in, but in order to keep cleanup simpler, I've used the muffin cups. So, I like to use a really large ice cream scoop to do this, because then all of my muffins wind up with about the same amount of filling in them. And they wind up being about the same size. So this recipe calls for a 400-degree oven. And again, this is one of those recipes that is from a product we no longer carry anymore. It came in the booklet that came with the product. So an old hand mill that we used to carry and can't get anymore. So I just thought it would be interesting to see how well this worked. So they'll go into a 400-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes, and then we will have breakfast muffins. So if for some reason, and this will happen to you occasionally, you don't have enough batter to make an entire dozen, and you have an empty hole in your pan, when you put that into the oven, make sure you put some water into that spot, and that will help keep your pan from scorching and changing colors in that spot, which will often happen. All right. So there we go. I have 12 muffins about to go into a 400-degree oven. We'll set my handy dandy kitchen timer. I'm going to set it for about 12 minutes. So I like to give it a little less time to check on them because every oven's just a little bit different. All right, just as I predicted, 12 minutes, our muffins are ready. So, fresh out of the oven. Yes, indeed, it looks like they do work. It is a good recipe. And so I don't burn my hands again, I'll get a fork and pull them out of there. It's good to let them cool off before you eat molten hot muffin. But I am really looking forward to giving these a try. Like I said, if you wanted to change it up a little bit, you could add some dried fruit to them. So something like dried mango, or maybe a little ginger would be lovely in them. Just anything to cranberries. Oranges and cranberries are made for one another, so that would be fantastic in these. They're going to have a lot of fiber, and they are made with grain you milled yourself, so you can impress all your friends and relatives. So if you have any comments or questions, leave them below or give the store a call. So I just wanted to update you in case you're going to try the barley flour muffins. I think they would benefit from a pinch of salt, no more than half a teaspoon, and they really would be much nicer with just a wee bit of fruit in them, whether that's cranberry or ginger or something like that. So if you're going to experiment with the muffins, those would be my suggestions.